Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast. Today I have a special guest for you from all the way across the pond. My buddy, a filmmaker from the UK, Sam Holland, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello.
With the dog barking in the background.
You can hear him already.
Professional. The filmmaker.
Do we need to start again?
No. We'll keep it going. It's all natural.
Nice.
Is there any relation to Tom Holland, I have to ask?
The Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Well, it's funny, actually, because, well, for start, no, there isn't any relation to Spider-Man. But my cousin is called Tom. So
Really?
Yeah. So when you said then, I thought, oh no, what's he done now?
What's crazy is that I think he has a brother named Sam Holland.
No way.
Tom Holland, Spider-Man does. Because when I looked on YouTube, I saw a Sam Holland that was Tom Holland's brother. And I was like, what?
No way. Yeah, sometimes when you type my name in on YouTube, Spider-Man comes up, and I was like, wish that was me.
That's not bad company, though, because you're probably going to get some views from being lumped in there. They're like,
possibly.
I don't know how we met exactly. I think you do video production, and I do video production, and we just kind of met on Instagram. You know?
Yeah, that's right. I remember seeing, I think you'd put some pictures up of your T-shirts. I remember thinking that's a cool logo design.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. I think you liked one of my pictures, or I liked one of yours, and then back and forth, and we just started like messaging about, commenting on pictures, and then it just went from there, didn't it? Really?
Yeah. It was real romantic.
It was. It was great.
Yeah, so we met on Instagram, and how long have you been doing filmmaking? Introduce yourself, where you're actually at in the UK.
In the world right now.
Yeah.
Well, I'm actually from Nottingham, so Robin Hood country. But yeah, it's cool, eh? When people say, oh no, I don't know where that is, you just say Robin Hood, and they're like, oh yeah, I know him. But my girlfriend, she's from Wolverhampton near Birmingham. So we met, and now here I am. So in the West Midlands. So that's where I am.
How long have you been doing filmmaking?
Filmmaking. Well, I started in about January 2018.
Okay.
So it's a new thing for me. Like, my background is music. I went to university to study music performance and like session musician type thing. Did a few tours with a band in the States, actually, which was loads of fun. Yeah. Did you go to Tombstone recently? Or you posted?
No.
You posted.
I posted something about Tombstone. Yeah.
Yeah, and we passed through there, so that's how I knew where that place was. So, and then the singer in the band was into his filmmaking and producing, and he filmed like a mini documentary of us on the road. And from then, when we got home, I'd always been into like cameras and stuff, but never owned one, just messing about, taking videos on the phone and putting like family holiday videos together. And one day I just thought, right, I'm going to get a camera and see what happens. And then it went from there. So gone from one expensive hobby to another.
That's awesome. That's something that I noticed, because I started in music as well. And I think when you naturally just have like that creative thing, it just evolves and expands into other art forms, kind of.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
And you, and people don't know, you put out YouTube videos teaching people about filmmaking. Do you do it weekly?
I'm trying to. Yeah, it's something that I've wanted to do since I started doing the video stuff, but always put off doing it because I'm not very good at speaking. You can probably tell by now.
Man, you're good.
And so I just thought, no, I'm not going to be good on camera or anything like that. And I thought, you know what? It's something I really want to do, so just do it. And if it might go down another direction or whatever, but you just got to put out videos. If you don't do it, basically, you're never going to know if it's going to be good or not. And you can only get better by doing it. So I just thought, right, I'm going to do it, see what happens, and really enjoy it.
Yeah.
So,
and that's the thing is, like, I feel like a lot of people always, that's like, I have people who ask me about YouTube and about, you know, putting out content and stuff. And they're always like, what should I do? How do I start? I'm just start. Just do it.
Exactly.
They're going to be terrible in the beginning, you know, and you're just going to have to get through it. And it's like what you said, like, once you start doing it, it starts evolving into something else, and it might go down a different path, and you're like, you would have never got there unless you actually started doing it, you know?
Exactly that. And so that's why you just got to do it.
Brilliant.
That's it.
Brilliant. I like how you say you're not good at talking, but like, I feel like Europeans have an edge on Americans when it comes to speaking, like narration. Like, you guys,
no way.
Like, I was thinking about this before we started recording. I want to film. Oh shit! Someone's calling me. Hold on. I want to film a. I don't want to give too much away, but a Planet Earth mockumentary with you, and
with me.
Yeah, where you do the voiceover for it, because I feel like I was starting to make this into a stand-up bit where people will listen to anything Europeans say because of their voice. That's and it's hilarious. Like, you won't listen to like someone in a trailer park if you're like, yeah, you should do this. But if someone's like, I think it would be the best idea for you to proceed in this direction. It's just like, something about that voice that sounds scholarly, or you can trust it, you know?
Well, that's interesting, because me and the girlfriend were saying the exact same thing about you the other day.
Really?
Yeah. I think maybe it's just because you're not used to it. Mm-hmm. You know, something you're not used to, so you naturally you gravitate towards it and you're more zoned in. But I truly believe that, like, with, for example, watching YouTube videos, like Americans, I really feel like they've got like this strong persona about them, and you're hooked because it's like really enthusiastic, got loads of enthusiasm, and so I don't know, I've always thought of it the other way around. Interesting.
That might be that thing, because I always think Americans, we're not really, like, maybe basketball, but when it comes to like fighters, for example, we're not that big of fans and don't support our fighters as much as like we support like Conor McGregor. Like, he's a phenomenon in America because he's so unique to us, and like just the way he talks and his accent, it's almost like a character that we're just, you know. Does
he live there now?
No, he lives in Ireland still, I believe. But do you guys? So there's nothing fascinating about your accent to you guys? It's just regular, so it's everyday stuff. So you're not impressed by it?
No. Man. But it's because we were again talking about it the other day and saying how for such a small country we've got a lot of different accents, whereas really the size of England could be the size of almost one state in America, where they have the same accent through that whole state, for example.
Yeah.
Whereas us, we've got loads of different accents, like Scottish, you probably know.
Yeah.
Scottish, and then you've got like northern, but less northern than Scotland accents, which I'm sort of classed as. And then you've got like a London accent, which is really posh. So
it's really what?
Posh.
What does that mean?
You would say posh.
Oh, posh.
Yeah, like the Queen's English or whatever.
Yeah.
But when I've been out to see friends in California, I've been stopped before, and they say, "Oh, whereabouts in Australia are you from?" But because I'm sort of more northern or like Midlands based, because I'm not as posh, they probably think, "Oh, it must be Australian then." You know,
I actually could see that.
Really?
Yeah. Even the look and everything can be Australian. But
oh, right.
Yeah, that's us. That's us. For Americans, we're just like, we hear that accent, and we don't know all the different ones all those little parts and difference. Like you said, Northern Scotland. I didn't know there was a difference between any Scottish accent. I didn't know you could tell a difference based on where they're living.
And there's a fine line as well. You could literally go, like, jump in the car half an hour down the road, different accent.
That's crazy. Do you guys, when I met someone for the first time from like the UK, they said the word cunt a lot. Cunt. He's a proper cunt. Do you guys use that word a lot?
Probably more often than we should.
In America, that's a rare word. Like that is reserved for someone who's very bad. But I feel like out there, you guys are like, oh, he's a cunt. Any of the lads a cunt. And you guys just use it all the time. It's crazy, man.
Back when that first came out, it was like that, really, like it should be. You shouldn't really say that, but it's got to the point now where nobody cares.
Yeah,
which is bad.
Man, so how is things going with because obviously coronavirus, I didn't want to bring it up, but coronavirus is everywhere. Are you guys quarantined right now?
Yeah. Are you as well?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we are a few weeks.
It's bizarre. Like for me, I work a lot from home anyway. So
same.
Yeah, so like everybody's going nuts and doing these home workouts and doing what they can to stay sane. And for me, it's kind of normal, really. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's tough that you can't just go out and film because there's loads of stuff that I really want to do. So we're not allowed to go. So we're only allowed to have an hour's exercise a day, but we're not allowed to drive to go and have a walk, if that makes sense.
Oh,
so
okay.
If we're seen out, it has to be for a reason. Basically, we're only allowed to walk round the block.
Oh.
So
are you guys you're allowed to go to the grocery store and stuff like that?
Yeah, that's pretty much the only places that are open.
And have you been to the grocery store at all lately?
Yeah, a couple of days ago we went and did.
Are people wearing face masks?
Yeah, the people are wearing the masks. People are wearing rubber gloves.
Mm-hmm.
And
did you wear them?
I haven't. No. Probably might be a lot of people saying that I should be, but we didn't know.
Yeah.
It's a tough one. They've got all the screens up now as well. I don't know if you've got them as well. They've got like perspex glass in front of all the checkout operators.
Really?
Yeah. But the thing
we
is,
don't have that.
Well, I mean, forgive me, anybody that thinks it was a good idea, but the perspex glass is probably about this big, and then people are doing the shopping and coming round here and loading up their trolleys there. So if anyone's going to sneeze, it's going to go on that person anyway. So, but I suppose they have to be seen to be doing, taking the steps. So,
man.
But what about for you guys?
It's been pretty crazy. I'm been going out only to get groceries and stuff. I wore a mask and gloves, but it's a crazy thing because I don't know. I try to not read a lot of the media and a lot of the news because it's a lot of times like that's one thing that I think people forget is that the news wants to scare people and it wants to make you click on the ad and have to read it and everything. So then everybody gets all scared from it. And then people, buy up all the face masks and they buy up all the gloves and the toilet paper. And I see people doing the right things and I see them doing the wrong things. Like there's tons of people who now take off their gloves in the parking lot and just throw them on the ground. And it's just like, it's not helping anyone.
No.
And
it
I don't know.
defeats the object, doesn't it? We saw the same thing today, just walking around the street, gloves on the floor. Yeah.
Man.
So
yeah, it's a weird thing because there will be people here who still go to the park even though the parks are closed, and it's like, why can't you just stay at home? You're a proper cunt. A proper cunt.
Yeah. Correct use of the word.
Yeah. So for you as a filmmaker, how has it been being locked in? Are you just trying to crank out more tutorials and stuff for YouTube, or?
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the plan. It's been tough because obviously wedding season's coming up, and a lot of my work was the weddings this year, and also my partner, she's a singer, so
no way.
It's been really tough, to be honest, because she's had months and months worth of gigs cancelled, and that's what she does full time every day. So, and it got to a point where this year she built her business up, you know, she was looking forward to taking more time off and not working as hard, and she got to a really good place. But now it's just pushed us back really, and but also what's happening is people are cancelling for gigs at the end of July, and we don't even know what's happening then. So so it's difficult to adapt to that. But for me, I've had a lot of weddings cancelled, and so we don't know what's going to happen. But I'm sort of used to just, I mean, I don't know what it's like for you, but for me, just living month by month and getting jobs in and staying afloat like that. So I'm kind of used to it. So my plan was, with all this, is just to crank out the videos for YouTube, really, and just try and get as much content out as possible, really, and grow the channel.
Have you done a lot of weddings?
Yes. Not heaps and heaps, but I mean, to be fair, I only started in 2018, so last year. Right. So last year was my first full year, and that's when I first started doing weddings. So I had a decent summer, to be fair. Yeah, I think weddings is a good thing to do if you're starting out filmmaking, to get experience, and also to make a bit of money. It's good because people always want that. People are always getting married, and also more and more people are thinking about having that. So it's a good one.
I need to start getting on those because they're good money. I've done a couple, but they're good money for a short, quick thing. Like, it's not a ongoing thing. I just always hated dealing with brides, man. I've had a few. I don't know how it is out there, but they call them bridezillas. Where they're just like terrible to deal with. They need everything perfect. And then it's like, sometimes they're talking to you almost every day for months leading up. And I'm like, hey, I don't need to know about the flower arrangement. I don't need to know about the napkins, you know, like they think you're like a wedding planner. But
so they literally want every single detail captured.
Yeah. And that's all part of the business, though, is just learning what to allow people to be a part of and let them talk to you a certain way, and like where you start having guidelines and your contracts just get super tight to where it's like, hey, this is what it is, and if you want something else, you have to pay me more money for it.
And there's a fine line, isn't there, between sounding like an arse and doing what's right for your business, or trying to be super friendly, isn't it? But then getting trampled on, so to speak.
And that's a huge thing. Not to get too personal, did you get deposits for the weddings that canceled?
Yes, always. Yeah.
I mean, that's good. At least you got that. I mean,
I know. Yeah, look, very, very lucky. So yeah, thankful for that. But what I'm thinking of is, I mean, I don't know what you think, but maybe because a lot of them are saying that they want to postpone for next year. But I'm not sure, because what happens then is it's like, well, they're taking up dates for what you're going to get booked in, what you could get booked in the future. So my idea was to maybe see if they would pay the remaining balance this year, so at least I'm still getting paid for what I would have been getting paid for, and then I'm just treating it as like days off, really, that I've got to work.
You could do that, and then maybe add an extra like 25% or 20% on top of it for, you know, taking up a new date a year later. But that's the thing, is like it's we've never had to deal with anything like this before.
No,
it's kind of crazy, man, that we're in a pandemic. You know, that you literally got to stay inside, and I don't know. I think it's tough for the businesses that are like restaurants, you know, that people have to go in there for them to make money, and they're just can't make anything. They can't do anything. They're just sitting at home watching TV and going crazy, you know?
Yeah, I mean, especially small businesses that do that, because what are they going to do? There's because my partner, she's a singer, and she's into the vintage scene, and there's like, she gets clothes from these clothes companies, and they're really small businesses, but we've heard of a few of them like having to go into administration. So it's so sad for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's tough.
You have your prime minister has coronavirus, isn't it? In bad shape.
I know. Yeah. Well, apparently he's because he was in intensive care, but now apparently he's okay now. He's stabilized.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that's good news.
Yeah. Do you like him? I don't know about your guys' politics. I hear he's a little like Trump or something like that. For me, like you said earlier about staying out of social media, I stay off social media and I stay out of politics, because I honestly feel, and this could be quite naive, but I honestly feel like we don't know the full story with anything, and it's been happened before where we've been promised things and actually it's come out that they're lying about the whole thing. So I just tend to not follow anything. So I don't know a lot, to be honest. I just go with the flow and do my thing, live life in my little bubble, and switch off from the outside. Now, to be honest, I was hoping that's what was going to happen with this whole thing, but it's got bigger. And like, that's what I was going to say. You said this whole thing is crazy. It is. And obviously, it's affected a lot of people's lives in different ways, people's health, and that's not good. And I wish people all the best. But for our generation, as you said, this hasn't ever happened before to us. And hopefully if we get through it, I will have been glad that we went through something like that. Because then, you know, our great-grandparents or grandparents lived through the war. Yeah. At least we've not been like an entitled generation then, you know, and hopefully we can come through the other side of it having learnt from it, and yourself included as well, maybe build our businesses up to the point where if this happens again, we don't have to rely so much on actually physically being at work, which is one of the reasons why I'm trying to build up the YouTube thing. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, although it's a terrible thing and it would have been nice if it didn't happen, hopefully some good comes from it somewhere. I think so too, man. I think you're completely correct that I used to always say before stuff like this that we were kind of like the middle children of history, where we didn't have a war like our grandparents. We didn't have the Great Depression. We kind of were just, I felt like the world was starting to go to a place where everything was entitled and people were forgetting how hard life can really be. Because like, if you don't have a struggle, you don't have any perspective or appreciation for the things that you have. Exactly. And I think we were kind of going down that route because at least with, you know, entertainment and these safe spaces and people's trigger words, I think when you don't have a struggle in your life, your brain has to create a struggle. So that's why people started getting so offended by everything and just the softest stuff. But I think when real stuff like this does happen, it kind of puts people back in perspective of what really matters in life, whether that's family, whether that's just appreciating having food or shelter or running water. And just, you know, when things get too easy, we just get whiny and we're just like, oh, you know, the temperature in the room is too hot, you know, kind of thing. But I think you're right, man.
Granted. Yeah, 100% agree. Even to the point where I was thinking today, I'll never take for granted going to the barbers again. The missus,
dude, I am getting some locks, man. I am. Yeah, man. Yours isn't even that bad. I got like some Goldilocks going on. I look like I'm trying to be in a boy band.
Check this. I've not seen it yet, but she says I've got a bold spot at the back because it was uneven. So I'll show you.
Oh, man.
You see it?
Oh, I see it.
Yeah.
I see it.
There it is.
Yeah, man, I think it is a good thing. And I think one thing that's interesting is when things like this happen, it's almost like having a house and you've been living in it and you haven't had to deal with bad weather. And then all of a sudden, you know, the bad weather comes and all of a sudden you realize, oh, there's holes in the roof. Now it's leaking. Oh, it's not insulated properly. Now we're getting cold at night. Oh, now it's flooding and we have water coming through the floor. And you kind of realize where all these holes have been in your life. And it's like with business, with how we do things, everybody's having to figure out a way to become better, to make these these fixes to their business model and everything. And I think in a lot of ways, it's forcing a lot of companies to have to move on to the internet. Like, I don't know how your clientele is there with videos, but where I live in particular, it's an older generation. And it's a lot of people who, they still want to do their advertising with the paper. We know the newspaper. They still want to, put out flyers. And they don't necessarily see the importance of video and stuff like that. But I feel like all of this is a shift making companies realize they need to adapt to be able to handle these things,
Yeah, 100%. So have you noticed more people are trying to do that then?
Yeah, there's
reaching out to you.
Yeah, and just trying to figure it out. I've gotten a lot of influx, and that's why I posted on a story yesterday that if anybody had questions that they can ask me about whether it's photography, video production, music, whatever they're trying to adapt, because that's one thing that I like about all of this. And you're saying gratitude and stuff like that during this is I feel like when things like this happen, people have to step up to try to help others without it benefiting themselves, So like I put out for businesses and everything that if they do have any questions, it's all free. I'll answer anybody's questions about anything because, man, it can, I don't believe really in like the fear mongering of like the media when they're like, people are pillaging and blah, blah, blah. But I think people need examples of people trying to do the right things during this situation rather than seeing the examples of people buying all the toilet paper and not caring about other people. So that's one good thing that I've seen is that there's a lot of people stepping up and trying just to help others, Yeah,
you're right. I've seen that as well with like personal trainers or people that work in a gym and they're doing classes online for free.
Yeah.
And like you say, it's just helping everybody.
Yeah. It's beautiful, man.
Yeah, it's good.
Have you had people reaching out to you about filmmaking and everything?
No, I haven't, to be honest.
I've just been chilling, making YouTube videos.
Been waiting for the phone calls to come in.
I keep calling the phone service. Is my phone open? Am I,
To be fair, what I have noticed is, and I don't think this is like the C word related, but and not the C word we were talking about earlier, the COVID situation.
Oh.
I think from being on YouTube and Instagram as well, people have been so friendly. I mean, I don't know if you ever tried starting a YouTube channel yourself, but
I have one. Thanks for watching.
No, I've seen that, but like with tutorial.
Yeah. I haven't really. I need to follow through with that. But go ahead.
You know what? I was a bit nervous about this podcast because I thought he's a comedian, quick thinking, and that's just not me. And at some point, it's going to pull me up, and it's just happened.
You trying to have a go at me?
Sound like Oliver Twist.
Yeah.
What was I saying?
About YouTube, the positive.
Yeah. You worry about putting yourself out there on the internet, and you think people are gonna have a go at you on there and start, calling out all your faults and stuff. But people have been so so generous on there, and also ask, like you said, they've been asking for advice on like through Instagram and saying, oh, how do I do this with Premiere Pro and stuff like that. Yeah. And it's just so nice that people are coming to me who really haven't got that many followers compared to a lot of the big guns on YouTube. Yeah. They're coming to me and they're trusting my advice, and it's nice. It's nice to know, and I think it's a good community. Yeah, really. I mean, I
think there's definitely something to that, because I get both sides of it. So I noticed that when I'm posting things, and that's the thing, is you're doing a service, and I think people really appreciate that. And you're entertaining in it, you're funny with it, and it's easy. It's an easy watch to watch your tutorial videos and everything like that. There's a level of positivity, and then sometimes when I'm just putting out entertaining stuff, if it's not like a tutorial, if I'm trying to be funny or I'm putting out an entertainment video, man, sometimes the comments are brutal.
Really?
They hate me. Yeah, I don't engage with it. I don't know why, because when people think you're a comedian, they think they want to try to make fun of you, like, oh, I'm going to make fun of the comedian, and they think they're going to get you. But like, man, even when there is negative comments, I'm always like, man, you are such a sad person that you took the time to try to break someone down with a comment, you know?
Well, how far are they going to go with it? What's it going to do?
I don't know.
At the end of the day, it's like you say, it's a form of entertainment, isn't it? You could post a video of entertainment in any genre, whatever it is. Yeah. But are people, like you said, I think comedians are more prone to that, aren't they? Because of what people think. Oh, he thinks he's funny. Well, see what he thinks to this then. Or what's he going to say to this?
I just delete it. If it's online, I just delete it. Nah.
Well, it's not worth your time, is it?
Yeah.
But people are always going to have their preferred style of whatever it is they're watching, aren't they?
It's and a lot of it is people want to do something like that, but they just, I don't know why they don't take that step where they actually do it. A lot of times when I'm doing stand-up comedy, because when it's a heckler and it's live, you have to deal with it. You have to talk to them, and you always find out they wanted to be a comedian. It's always, they think they're funny and they're going to add to the show, or they're going to do something. Like, it's complete delusion. And it's like, after the show, a lot of times if I start making fun of them and going back and forth, a lot of times they come up to me after like, oh, that was amazing, I want to be a comic and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, you're ruining the show. You don't understand what you're doing is ruin it for everybody else. And then, they're like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know.
Well, if they've got no respect for other comedians, they've probably got no respect for themselves, and they're not going to do well. Yeah. Because they should just be listening. Yeah. It's a shame. But
proper cunts.
Yeah, big time. I'm not going to say it just in case my mum's watching.
You're a good boy, a proper boy.
Yeah, proper boy.
Have you ever, so you would perform music live, yeah?
Yeah.
Sing, guitar, would you?
Guitar is my thing.
Did you guys ever have to deal with hecklers or anything crazy happening?
No. Crazy women sometimes getting drunk, falling over, unplugging all your pedals and guitars by accident.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man, women.
Yeah, crazy.
Wow, I didn't know you toured the States. How long were you in a band?
Well, that one in particular, couple of years, loads of fun, best band ever.
Really?
Yeah, it was great.
Why'd you guys break up?
We just had, I think. Well, I was at university at the time. That's when I joined, and the singer was from Australia, and then the drummer was from Italy, and we were sort of all we were all in this place.
Captain Planet.
It was multi-thingy band, whatever you call it.
Wow.
Multi.
What genre was it?
It was like it was sort of grounded in rock, but it had a lot of different elements in it, like electronic sort of stuff. I'll have to send you a link after this.
Yeah, for sure.
And but very sort of like heavily rooted in like old like 70s style guitar and drums with a hint of electronic stuff in there. But it was loads of fun because we were always trying to like come out with new stuff, new sounds and experiment with things. That's what everybody says, isn't it? But
yeah, everybody, we got a new sound, mate.
Yeah, listen to this.
Do you know what's funny though? When I start talking to people from a different area, like your accent, if we did this podcast every day, in a month, I would have your accent, and I would be talking to you with it. Like that's just the way my brain works. That if I start hearing something, I just start taking that accent. Like I remember a lady came to visit from Japan.
You started speaking Japanese.
It was like my cousin's wife, and she stayed with us for a couple weeks. And within a week, I was speaking broken English. I'd be like, "We go store and we buy food," and then people were like, "Why are you talking like that?" I'd be like, "I don't know." Like I would just start talking like I'm like I absorb accents when I'm around it too long. You know.
Cool, man. Well, we should have a chat every day, and then a chat.
Yeah, maybe some tea and some milk.
Tea.
So do you drink tea with milk?
I don't drink tea. No. I'm more.
What?
No.
Are you allowed to live there without drinking tea?
Well, as long as you have done for a while.
Is there any stereotypes that you guys have about Americans?
Got to tread carefully now, haven't I?
Nah, man, it's all.
No,
it's
you know
the
what?
Internet. You can say whatever you want.
I think because a lot of films that we watch are mainly American.
Yeah.
It's kind of like hard to narrow it down.
Okay.
Really. So yeah, no, I don't think we do have any, really. A lot of people that are like, "Oh, the Yanks this, the Yanks that," and they don't, and they still say that they don't understand sarcasm. I'm like, yes, they do. So
oh yeah, we definitely get sarcasm.
Yeah, it's a worldwide thing, surely.
Would you guys say that your style of humor is a lot of sarcasm?
I would say so, but then again, they say that sarcasm is the lowest form of wit or whatever.
Do they say that?
Yeah.
I think sarcasm is one of the highest forms, but when it's so dry and hidden that people think you're being serious.
Yeah.
Like I like messing with people, and I go far with sarcasm where they think I'm telling the truth, and I'm just like, hey, that's just how I feel, you know.
Well, you got to be brave to do that.
So with YouTube and everything, who were some of the people that you watch? I'm sure you watch. Well, first off, were you trained?
Obviously.
Did you go to school for filmmaking at all? Anything like that?
No, literally just all YouTube videos, tutorials.
Same with me.
Yeah. Who did you watch?
Obviously, Peter McKinnon. I watch Peter McKinnon. What's up, guys? Matty H.
Yeah.
There's a few others. I'm forgetting this guy that's big right now. He does a lot of super cool B-roll, a lot of camera movements, and Daniel Schiffer, that guy.
Yes, the one who does a lot of the food stuff and skateboarding. Yeah, they're all Canadian. What's going on?
What is it about Canadians, man?
I know.
They're good at
It scares me
filmmaking.
when I look at the YouTube stats. And it says a percentage of your audience is Canadian. I'm like, no, don't watch, because they're obviously like the best. But Matty Hapoya, his was like the first video I ever saw about for filmmaking tutorials, and then since then I've always followed him and Peter McKinnon.
Okay, yeah. It's a crazy time for filmmaking, because I was thinking, I was watching the movie. I don't know if you've seen it, The Shining. Old movie.
Yeah.
I was watching it last night, and the movie starts with an aerial shot of the car driving through the mountains. And I was thinking, I was like, this was before drones. And it was shaky footage and everything. It was film. So it was actually film, no digital. And they literally had to get a helicopter with a camera, and, someone had to be in there filming that one shot. So it was like, just to get that shot, probably $10,000. And now we have the ability to get that same shot for basically the cost of a drone. Yeah. And it's like, I feel like, and that's the thing is I feel like people don't have excuses when it comes to filmmaking because we have so many tools at our disposal. You know, it's a great time to be a filmmaker.
Yeah, definitely. Even on your phone. And people are doing all these tutorials now. Look what you can create on your phone, and bringing out accessories for your phone and apps so that you can control all your settings of your camera on your phone. Crazy. Yeah. In fact, we were having the same conversation the other day because Mrs. was going to be doing a show, Sound of Music, and she was playing, what's the woman called in it?
I forget.
What's her name? Maria.
Okay, yeah.
And we were asked to do like a promo trailer for it, and we were going to recreate that scene where she's, you know, and that's a helicopter. And she said that they could only hire the helicopter for one day, so they had to shoot that scene and the scene at the end, apparently, all within like a time frame. And I said the same thing. Now we could just get a drone and do as many takes as you need to do, and that's it. And it's so easy. So,
I know you got to get going. This will be the last thing. I've always, just on what you're talking about, phones being so good, where people can now record 4K, 120 frames per second. As filmmakers, I've always said the thing that separates, because people will ask me, well, what's the difference between what you can do and what I can do with my phone? And I've always believed that it's good. It pushes filmmakers to be better. And I think the number one thing, and you can tell me what you think about this, I feel like the number one thing with filmmaking is the story. I feel like that's the number one thing that separates people with just a phone. It's the story with wide angle shots. It's the story with the close-ups, with the, you know, the different level of production value, with the swooping shots, everything like that. I always think that'll be anything.
100%. Yeah, 100%. It's like that video we did where you did the voiceover. I'm into like sports and stuff, and I wanted to do like a motivational video, but I didn't want to just go in and film a gym like a lot of people do. Somebody's lifting the weights, there's a close-up on the weights, blah, 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 and that's it. I wanted to do something with a story. And then with the, you know, you did the narration for it, it took it to a different level. So, like you say, and also, like, somebody could go and film anything with their phone and put it online for their business, but when you're hiring, like, a company that is going to do it for you, you're hiring a creative person that is going to bring, like, a vision to life for your business, and they do it day in, day out. So they're going to see things within your business that you might not necessarily see. Yeah. So, is that what you meant?
Yeah, that's beautiful, man. That was a great cherry on top of that little sundae.
Sunday.
All right, man. I appreciate you coming on here and talking.
Thanks for asking me. It's a pleasure.
Yeah. And where can people see some of your work on Instagram, on YouTube? Where would they go?
Yeah, if they want to see some filmmaking tutorials, that they want to go to YouTube or Instagram and just type in Sam Holland YouTube on Instagram. Or if they want a video doing, maybe on this side of the pond, go for Route 89 Video Production.
And that is
but this is the guy.
Route, not ROOT. Not
That's right.
Route 89.
Like the road.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been an exclusive worldwide podcast with a couple proper cunts, for the edited version,
My mom's gonna be so
proper
proud.
mates. Yeah, I'm sorry, but your mom probably won't watch this now.
I won't tell her I've done it.
Yeah, I'll beep it. But all right, man, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for being on here.